Now, I think I've shared this previously as well, that, unless you're born with a silver spoon, you're just not going to go too far unless you start to raise external money. And that was, yes, last week's session as well, where we were practicing the grow model, how to raise external funding. We will continue with some of that, but before that, I want to share something. Okay, human brain is practically designed. So let me share with you some stats so you can see what's happening. Okay, even the CEO of a large company, large listed company, would normally look out for 70% of the information before making a decision. Because if you wait for the 100% information to be able to make a decision, by then it's already too late. Someone has already launched that product, someone has already done what you're trying to do. This applies to property as well. If you wait for 100% of the information, you would have lost that deal. There's way too many people who will, and they know very well, they're MBA students, they're people who are reading all these stats all day long, they're people who are taking trainings all day long. They will take decision based on 70% of the information. So let's say if you're looking at a property deal, development deal, land deal, whatever that might be for you, even a rent-to-rent deal, as long as you have about 70% of the information, you should not wait anymore. And what do I mean by wait? The point when you have 70% information, you've only got about 5 seconds to make that call and make that commitment. If you wait longer than 5 seconds, human brain will find a reason for you not to act. Okay, so it's all about acting on that information that you acquire. Like I said, either it's a land deal, development deal, a refurb deal, regardless of the kind of deal you're working on, as long as you have 70% of the information, mostly numbers, you go ahead and act on it and do not wait. Because you wait longer than 5 seconds, your brain is going to find multiple reasons to not do it. Okay, so please do not wait any longer than 5 seconds. I cannot insist enough how important this is. Okay, if you wait any longer than 5 seconds, believe you me, and you can see for yourself that your brain will come up with excuses why not to go ahead for that specific deal. Another thing at the back of it I can tell you is, even the most experienced investors and developers still make mistakes. Okay, so if you've done 70% of the due diligence or a little bit more, you will go ahead and you will probably do, let's say, 10 deals. You're still going to get one wrong. You're still going to get one wrong. Okay, so don't hesitate. This is all a part of the process. Okay, if you're hesitating thinking, oh, I'm going to get that one wrong out of the 10, I can assure you people with 40 years experience even still get at least 1 out of 10 wrong. Okay, it's how much of it you get wrong. It's not about wrong or completely right. It's all gray. There's no yes or no. It's all gray. So how much of it you get wrong is what matters. You may only get wrong to an extent where you break even. Okay, because you've already done the 70%. The thing that you may get is maybe 20% wrong. That means you may still break even, which means you still don't lose money. But it's very important to act in the first 5 seconds, because literally your mind will find a reason to find an excuse to stop you from doing it. Okay, another thing that I'd like to share with everyone, which some of the members have actually seen me doing it, is I've actually got 2 diaries. Okay, one is actually a physical manual diary, one is a digital diary, which means I've actually got all my to-do tasks of the day in my diary, in my digital diary in most cases, which means that it pings when there's a task to be done. Okay, and as soon as it pings, well, most of the times it doesn't even ping. I actually get it done before that. But as soon as it pings, I would either do that task there and then, or I would postpone it to, sorry, could you mute yourself? I would either postpone it to an hour or 2 later, or do it there and then. There's no more thinking at the back of that, because once I've put it in the diary, that means it's a task that needs to be done. It could be analyzing a deal, it could be due diligence on something, it could be making notes of something, it could be preparing a pitch deck, it could be networking. Irrespective of the task that is, it's in my diary and it gets done. And I mean really done. There's a reason people call them deadlines and not just, some sort of lines. Deadlines mean you'd rather be dead than missing that line or that task. Get that task done. That's all it is. It's all about putting it in your digital diary or your physical diary and say, today I'm actually going to do it in this chronological order. Start your chronological order with the task that brings in the maximum amount of money into your business. Okay, it's not rocket science. Everything else can stay there, and whatever it is, except maybe taxation, which needs to be done on a certain date. But other than that, everything in your diary needs to be in the exact order of how much money it's going to bring into your business. It's as simple as that. Nothing else matters. Business is all about cash flow and being money generated in your business. That's all it is. If you don't have cash flow coming in, you've got no business. Okay, your business won't survive even a single week or a month. Okay, it's very, very simple. Please, I cannot insist enough. This is very, very simple. But if you don't act on this aspect of acquiring 70% of the information, acting on it within 5 seconds, and having your digital and your physical diary and making your tasks in the chronological order and getting them done, you are literally on the way to be successful over a period of time. These are literally the basic skills of being successful. Nothing else matters. If you just do this, forget about everything that you've learned in your life. If you just do this, I promise you, you look back 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, because it has a consistent compounding effect. If you do this over a period of 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you look back and literally say, wow, I can't believe how much I've actually achieved. Okay, there are times when we started PEN as a network, think of it as a network, and I would approach someone and say, well, this network is about 200 people. Right? So, well, what kind of network is this? Is only 200 people. But those 2 people were heavily engaged at that point because I was personally dealing with everyone. But I would go to someone and they say, oh, this is only 200 people. I'd say, well, come into the group and you'll see how much engagement I've got. Now, over a period of time, it is again statistically proven that the bigger the network gets, the lower the engagement gets, which is, again, it's not straightforward, a lot more to deal with. For us, it's a challenge. But at the same time, I used to invite people and say, just come and see the engagement. And the 200 people, out of 200 people, I used to normally have over 50% people speaking, chatting with each other every single day. Back in the days, this is when we started in 2017, late 2017. But consistently adding people into our network has took us from, well, nothing to nearly 500,000 people. And that's consistent effort, adding people into WhatsApp groups, adding people into LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, Telegram groups, into our email database, and so on and so forth. This is just consistent effort. If you do these practices, I say so, every single day over a period of time, you look back and you'd be like, wow. Okay. And it literally becomes a wow. People start to tell you, oh, you're a genius. It's not about being a genius. Genius is the person who does a task every single day for the rest of their life. That is all it is. It's not rocket science. Now, back to where we left off last week, where we were actually practicing the GROW model. And I can tell from my observation, not just the group, but a lot of people, but in fact, majority of the people are not necessarily good at pitching. This is one hell of a skill. I promise you one thing in business. If you know how to pitch well, and I always say, use the word, change the word, swap the word sales with serving in your mind. So you're not actually pitching, you're serving people, but there's a structure to that. If you know how to actually serve people well in a structured way, you are going to do really, really, really well. Okay. Imagine there are people, bankers, who are working in Canary Wharf or in the London city, their main job is to just raise finance from high net worth individuals. Okay, or for that matter, there are people in central London who sell very, very expensive drawings or art collection. Okay, all they do is just the pitching or serving their clients. That is all they do. And they follow a certain structure while serving their clients. It is exactly the same formula. Either you're selling an art piece or you're raising finance. It doesn't really matter what is it that you're pitching for or serving for. The structure needs to be exactly the same. When you're recruiting people, irrespective, the structure still needs to be the same. When you're leading people, when you're coaching people, when you're coaching a client, when you're literally every aspect of your business depends on the structure of how to serve a person, which is basically the grow model. Okay, one thing I can share with you, which it's just learning experience that I came across, which is when I first learned the grow model, and this was a very, very long time ago, probably about 12-13 years ago, I started applying to my business in my team while leading a team, so coaching my own personal team. And I observed, and this is nowhere in no book, okay, this is just my observation. I started using the same model to lead my team. Then I started using the same model when I was actually pitching for contracts. Then I started using the same model, the grow model, while I'm having conversations with people. Sorry. When I was having conversation with people, so as when I was socializing with people, not that I'm pitching them anything, just when I'm socializing with people. And then I observed that we attract more people by using the structure because we are questioning more. We are questioning more and we are asking questions. And as human beings, we like talking about ourselves. So when I'm asking someone something, they are talking about themselves, they're sharing about their life or their business, and they start liking you as a person because you're the one listening. Remember, most people are not listeners. Raise your hand if you know, if you've come across that most people don't actually listen, really listen. Raise your hand if you observe that most people don't listen. They only listen to the extent of trying to reply back to you. Raise your hand if that has been your experience. Okay, most people actually just enough listen to you to the extent that they could reply back to you because they want to talk. Okay, they want you to listen to them. But if you give other people the opportunity, so you listen to them and really listen to them, they are going to, you're actually building that trust with them. And once you start to build that trust, it's a lot more easier. You can lead them, you can coach them, you can even follow them. Remember, leading and following is actually correlated, and in this, they're actually a same part of the boat, basically. Okay, you can't lead a person if you don't follow them. Okay, and vice versa. If you don't follow, if you can't lead them if you don't follow them, and you can't follow them if you don't lead them. They are actually correlated. But at the same time, this all depends on the grow model and using the grow model in a structured way. Okay, so over a period of time, what I did was I started using the grow model for pretty much every aspect of my communication and every aspect of my social life as well. And then over a period of time, it became so much more easier to grow the network, to be able to build amazing relationships, to be able to sell, to be able to serve, to be able to lead a team, to be able to coach my clients, to be able to follow people that I actually want to actually follow. It's exactly the same model. Okay, so no book is ever written so far. I'm pretty sure someone will write at some point that will actually teach you about the grow model, that it can be used for pretty much every aspect of your communication. Okay, but I'm sharing this with you from my own personal experience. But it's all about practicing it. And until you don't practice, you're not going to get it right. Literally, people jump from the O to the R and the W, and they keep jumping from one to the other. It's not like that. It's a chronological order. You start with the G and R. Okay, G and R can be used up and down, not a problem. but you can't jump to the O, which is opportunities, until you've gone through completely of the GNR, which is goals and reality. And then you jump onto O, which is your options. And then you take them to the closing question, which is the will. Okay. Is everyone clear on the GROW model, the structure of the GROW model questioning? Please raise your hand if you're clear, because I want to see if you're clear. Unless you're not clear, you can't actually practice this. Please raise your hand if you're clear about it. I want to see everyone. I'm going to ask you, Dean sir, are you clear about this? Emmanuel? Geeta? Yes.
No.
Fami? Emmanuel, are you clear? Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Good. Sapphire, I'm pretty sure you are. Suraj?
Yes, Jack here. Thank you.
Okay, good stuff. Now that you're clear, it's about practicing it. It will literally change your life. I always tell people that, look, money is attracted by people who build their skills and nothing else. Money is a commodity. Treat it like a commodity. Do not give it any more importance than what it deserves. It only deserves the importance of a commodity. Gold is a commodity, silver is a commodity, metal is a commodity, food is a commodity. Okay, pretty much everything that you see is a commodity. So is money. Do not give it any more importance. Okay, but money is literally attracted by people who build the skills to be able to attract that money into their life. And one of the very top, if I was to list top 3 skills, one of the most important skills is persuasion skills, which is serving skills, which is the GROW model. So make sure you learn this skill really, really, really well. We're going to start practicing. Lavanya, hope you well. You joined late, but you missed really, really good part. My question is to someone here, Safai.
Yes, Jack.
I'm pretty sure you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you rephrase what I've just shared so far with everyone?
In regards to the GROW model?
No, what I've shared so far, everything that I've just shared, can you rephrase it in like bullet points?
Oh gosh. I can if I was paying full attention.
Okay.
Okay,
try.
It's about putting yourself out there, making sure that you understand where the direction that you're going in. If you are not making money in your business, you're not in business. So it's to try and understand what is your income revenue that you need to generate each month continuously, and building out your model to suit that income revenue that you need coming in.
That's true. Anything else?
No.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
I add.
Go ahead, Emmanuel, please do go ahead.
So one of the initial things you mentioned is the importance of being able to make a decision within a space of 5 seconds.
That's right.
Based on the information. So around 70% of information, because reflecting personally, like on myself, I've missed opportunities just because I've taken a longer time to make a decision because I had all the reasons why not to jump on a deal. Yet the information was in front of me and I still felt 70% or so was still not enough. I needed 100% of information. So the key point is when we've got that 70%, we still have we have a short period of time, not more than 5 seconds to make the decision.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And it's
So
also about listening as well.
It is.
which I should have been really paying attention to. Yeah, sorry about that, but yeah,
paradoxical.
Yeah. it is about listening and taking on board what is being said to you as opposed to what you are hearing. Because sometimes fear gets and traps us in a situation, and being indecisive with our decisions also can put us in a position where we're not moving forward because we're indecisive.
Ooh, indecisive is one of the biggest problems most people have. Okay, like I'm so fast decisive. Let me share with you, and it's not about me. I'm just sharing so you could learn. Okay, I went to see this deal, which is in Tooting which is with one of the family members here. He's not here, but he might join later. And I went to see the deal. It took me literally 5 minutes, And I said to him, please go meet the estate agent and say, I am taking this deal. This is a good deal. I can literally, I had seen the numbers. I visited the site. It looked like a great area. And I said to him, I said, please don't wait any longer. It was already, I think, 4 o'clock or something, 3 o'clock or something. I think it was 3 o'clock. And I said, you've got 2 hours before they close. And please make sure before 2 hours, they issue your sales memo. Okay. Like, I'm so fast because I knew that deal was good and literally anyone would jump on it. The next person walks in, they're just going to say yes, because it literally had 30% on the GDV and it was in Tooting. Okay. So very, very high demand area. Took me no time. Like literally the person who I was waiting for, I didn't even wait for him. I actually called him up. I said, look, I'm already here. I'm telling you now, just go ahead and say yes. He goes, let me at least get there. I said, all right, you come here. So he got there, took us 5 minutes, and we were all done and dusted. That deal has already been agreed. You have to act really, really fast. We are in a saturated market. We are in a very, very high demand country of properties. You don't have a chance if you take too long. Okay, you literally do not have a chance. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel, Sapphire, for that. It does help. Remember, everything that I've just shared right from the start of the session is literally the core of being successful. Like, I cannot insist enough. If you just follow this process of taking your decisions with 70% information, taking 5 seconds, making sure you have a diary and you write your tasks in a chronological order of bringing the most money in as the first task. If you just do this stuff and use the GROW model in your communication for pretty much everything, over a period of time, you will become really, really successful. But it's all about now practicing the GROW model. So we're going to start doing that. I want someone to practice with me first, and then we'll jump on to the second person. Sapphire, do you want to practice with me? I know you're good at this.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you like to be?
I'm not fussed. Let's try it.
You pick. What do you want to be? Do you want to be the investor, or do you want to be the one pitching? I would say be the one pitching.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do this then.
All right. Okay. So you've connected with me on LinkedIn. Okay. You sent me a message saying, you know, we've got a product, a development product that I'd like to show you. And I said, yes, okay, show it to me because I'm an investor. And then I gave you my number and now you're calling me. So you've only spoken to me once, okay, on LinkedIn. Or chatted with me, not even spoken. Okay.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
So I haven't talked to you yet.
No, you haven't talked. You've just chatted on LinkedIn with me once.
Okay. So I would probably, that wouldn't be my normal course. I'd actually
improvise. That's fine.
Right?
Just improvise. It's no problem.
Hi, Jack. How are you doing?
Hi, Sapphire. How are you? Yes, I'm good.
Well,
thank you.
Thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I really appreciate you coming back to me. I sent an outline to you. Did you receive it?
Yes, I did. Yes. So tell me a bit more about it.
So am I doing a development here or what am I doing?
Development.
All right. Oh gosh, I've never pitched a development. Okay. So this is definitely going to be new for me. Okay. So I sent you over the details of the development based in Basingstoke. And I've given you the GDV on it as well. What did you think about the overall development?
So tell me a bit more about yourself, Sapphire, and the context of the project as well, please. Okay,
so I'm Sapphire Gray. I've been a property investor for somewhat 20 plus years. I'm looking, I've been helping women to get into the property development space and came across this investment that potentially could have 3 houses on it. And I've thought of you because I know that you're into small investments for helping women generate an income. So I thought of you in this realm. This is not how I would pitch.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You're pitching well. Just I said improvise. It doesn't matter. Carry on. You're doing well.
So the whole outline of the property is, all right, let me try and get into mode now. 1 minute. All right.
You're doing well. Because remember, you gotta improvise. We don't have the full
Yeah,
context. That's
it's
fine.
not even that. I definitely don't. I just don't do this off the back. I'm dyslexic, so it's really it's hard for me. But it's a good lesson, so I'm going to go with it.
Okay.
Hi, Jake. Thanks for connecting with me. I really appreciate your time that you have taken out to have a conversation with me.
Thank you.
I don't know if you know much about me, but I'm Sophia Gray. I'm the owner of the Savvy Women Group, and I really help women to get into property investment is one of my core things. But off the back of that, I also have a charity that helps women in transitioning out of domestic violence situations in their life. And this is why I wanted this conversation with yourself, because I've come across this piece of a plot that I have now purchased for 120,000, and I really would like not only your advice, but to see whether it's something potentially that you would like to also invest in. So just a little snapshot of me. Been in business over 30 years. I have a nice portfolio of 100 plus properties. I've not gone into the development realm myself, building that land, but I have done developments as in conversions of houses, flats, and I've been doing that over a period of time. I also teach it as well to a small group of students. So I just really felt that we had some synergy, and I wanted to get kind of your feedback and seeing whether it was something that you'll be interested in.
Okay, so I'm actually gonna give you some feedback. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it, please.
So you've asked me a closing question. What do you think about it? Okay. So my answer can be either a yes or a no. Very little, very few people will elaborate. Okay.
That's
Can
right.
you see that you've started well? I mean, I can say you started well, but you're not asking me the GNR questions.
True.
Okay. You need to ask me question based on G and R. So you started well, but then you jumped right onto the opportunities.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay. You need to take people through the GNR, which is goals and reality. So let's say you shared the about yourself, you shared about the numbers on the project. Okay. Now it's time not to ask a closing question, but to ask about the person.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can ask me. So would you like to share a bit about yourself? Could you tell us a bit more about your experience when it comes to investment and development? Okay. Could you tell me what kind of return on investment would you normally expect from a development? Okay. What has been your best project that you've done so far, either in terms of the profits or in terms of experience? Now, can you see I asked two different questions here, and they both are going to be probably very different. One is the one they made most profits from. One is experience, which is probably the biggest learning curve. Okay. Could be two different ones. But now they start talking about themselves, and then you ask them, what is it that you would like to achieve from, let's say, X amount of investment? Now, let's say if you need 100 grand or let's say £1 million, what would you like to achieve from that kind of money? Maybe before that question would be, how much do you have to invest in your next development project? Okay, you're not asking a closing question. You're just asking a question based on the synergy there. Does that make sense?
See, now for me, if I'm going to do a pitch for something, I will have all the figures already done.
That's right. Yeah.
I would have a report, an outline of what the property looks like.
Yes.
I would have done my due diligence on you to know who you are as an investor.
Yes, but you
and
must still ask.
And whether there's any synergy. But when you're pitching, my understanding of when you're pitching, and I saw a few live pitches the other day. It was 3 different types of pitches. One of them, he hid some information. The middle one, he was so solid. He had a construction company. He knew what he was doing. He knew what his return was. He got offers and he walked away from those offers because he specifically wanted to work with someone specifically on that panel. And the last one, she was a soulconfused.com, but she actually got the investment, even though she was so nervous and so confused on the deal. So I would always produce a document, which I have. Yeah. If I needed finance, I would always produce a document with the whole outline. I will give you a model of what the land, development would look like, I would ask you key questions and saying, hey, Jack, I really would want to know more about what is your background, Jack? And, you know, what kind of investments have you done previously? And how have those previous investments worked out for you? What kind of potential return do you want on your investments as well? So it could, there would be a sequence of events that would happen for me to then outline exactly what my offering was.
Okay. Yes, Sapphire, one more thing. Please do not compare this pitch with something that you see on TVs, right? Reason being, they only get a certain amount of time or period of time to be able to pitch. And all they have to do is go in, give it a bit more context and the numbers. That's all they can do. Okay.
Right.
While when you're pitching someone as in one-to-one, you've got more time normally. Okay. That means you can actually use the grow model. Does that make sense? When you're pitching on TV, you don't have the time to use the grow model. Okay. But when you are pitching one-to-one, you normally would get 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, depending on how much you have.
Right.
But that's enough time to use the grow model. Reason being, because on TV, most people know who these people are, what kind of businesses they run already. Okay. And it's a show as well. Remember, it's all showbiz, it's all entertainment. Okay. But when you're pitching on one-to-one, it's not entertainment. It's more about actually getting to know a person a lot better. Okay.
Yeah, because this wasn't a TV show. This was actually live.
That's why I realized that. Yes.
Yeah.
I realized that. Yes. So, but what we are doing in Grow Model is not the same as what we see on TV. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, it's still pitching, but at the same time, completely different. Okay.
Yeah, and I do have a brochure-like detail of how that structure would look like. So if I've never, in all truth, I've never ever pitched for money because I've always had it and I've always raised my own funds outside of that. Okay. So I've never had that opportunity to actually put myself. So this is really good for me. It's a good exercise because it's actually showing me where I need to improve on if I was to go down that avenue. But I don't. I have won pitches, financial pitches before for my other company. And I blew any competitors out of the water because of the way I presented it. But I'm sort of a prepared kind of girl as opposed to on the spot.
Spontaneous, I understood.
But this is a good lesson. And I say it's a good lesson because when you're looking at, somebody could just come to you off the cuff and say, hey, I've been watching you, I've been looking at what you're doing. What do you do? And would you look for an investor? This is a good lesson for me to always be prepared in the event of that happening. So I appreciate that. You put me in that situation because now it's made me really think of how would I pitch if I'm online. So it's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapphire. I know you're very good at this. I knew that, but I think you're one who needs more preparation. I understand that. Yes, definitely.
But it's a good lesson because you can't always be prepared. There could be a time where someone gives you, I know the 7-minute meeting, and I used to have 7-minute meetings, and in that 7 minutes, you've got to know exactly what you're talking about, what you want, and it's done. It's succinct. So yeah, I really, this is good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm actually gonna have 2 more people pitch to themselves rather than me. Who wants to pitch? Raise your hand, please. Geeta, I can see you top of the list. Would you like to pitch? Kalpana? Okay, raise your hand if you'd like to pitch. Lavanya, I can see you.
Sorry, Jack, I'm driving. That's why.
You're driving?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
So, not a best time.
It's not. Thank you. Okay, that's fine. Geeta, can you hear me? I think it seems like a lot of people.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, hands were occupied with something.
That's okay. My question is, would you like to pitch?
I can, but I probably just may go myself because then you can just probably give enough feedback.
Yeah, just look, it's all about doing it. There are times I get it wrong. I promise you that. Literally, there has been times when I jumped on a call and I knew there was business at the back of that and I got it wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Every now and then we all get it wrong, but it's not about that. It's about knowing your structure, taking that 1 or 2 seconds to reflect back and say, okay, I'm going to stick to my structure of the grow model, and I'm going to now ask questions. Remember, it's all about asking just about the right questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. So probably
Right.
because I'm very much into the state agency at the moment, so
That's
I'll
fine.
probably try to take an example of that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Do you want to come
Okay.
and pitch me or pitch someone else?
I can probably have you as a, let's say, landlord and
Okay.
me as an agent.
Let's do that.
And then probably, let's see,
Let's
if you're
do
not
that.
going to be a difficult landlord, I may get along.
All right. Okay. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. So again, I'll just probably take something which I do everyday basis now.
That's
So
fine.
I'll probably
Just improvise. That's fine. Just make it up. That's fine.
So I'll just probably visit the landlord and, of course, visit them and just let's say, you are in the property and I visit you.
Yeah.
Hi, Jack. How are you doing? This is
I'm
Geeta
good.
from Science States.
I'm good. Thank you, Geeta. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for letting us come into your place to have a quick valuation done for you. If it's okay, can I just come in?
Yeah, sure you can.
Okay. Thank you. So I just come in into your place, and then after that, I'm just going to be. Is it possible if I just have a quick look around the property and have a quick talk after that, if that's okay with you?
Sure, I'll show you around.
Okay.
So show you around. Yeah. Okay.
So, okay, we'll just cut that bit. I'm going around and having a look. And then after that, once it's done, I'm back with you saying that, thank you so much for showing me around. So if it's okay, we can just have a quick talk. So let's, have a seat here if that's okay. Or if that's okay, we can sit down
Please
there.
sit down. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Again,
Okay.
it's improvisation. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So now I can see, after having a quick look at the property, you have already provided the brief details. I will ask you a few questions just to make sure that, to understand what exactly you're looking to achieve.
Mhm.
And then we can actually give our feedback and take it from there, if that's okay with you.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So by looking at the property, if you don't mind asking, what is your rental expectation from this particular property you are looking in for?
Let's say 1,200 a month.
Okay, perfect. So that's something we can definitely be able to work around and help you achieve that. So like what exactly you're looking to achieve is very much realistic, looking at the comparables. And I have done this quick comparable report for you as well. So please feel free to have a look and I can show you what exactly the house next door are achieving and what you are expecting is very much likely we can do for you. So I think that something covers G and R. Jack, correct me if I'm wrong.
It doesn't cover
No?
GRR as yet. No.
Okay.
No.
I mean, when you say
Dig a bit
GNR,
deeper.
what exactly she's...
Dig a bit deeper.
Okay, because I'm like the reason I'm saying this.
So you've got the G. You've got the G. You've got the G.
Yeah,
bit.
and also with the reality as well, like because we firstly ask what she's looking for, then what we say that what we can achieve for you, So in my opinion, I'm sure I'm here to take a feedback. So and then of course after that, if the lady is saying yes, perfect. Oh, sorry, not the lady. Sorry. Let's say you say okay, let's perfect. We want to go ahead with it.
So let me ask you a question. Okay. So you've asked me the right questions. That's fine. Now it's my time to ask. So tell me a bit more about yourself, Geeta. How long you've been doing this, and what kind of packages do you have?
Okay, sure. So thank you for asking this question. So as I briefly had a call with you, we are estate agents based in Middlesex, providing all sort of services of estate agencies. So primarily, as you're looking for letting, we provide 3 types of services within that. So one is a letting only, where we just find the tenants for you, and it's going to be 6%, no VAT at all. So there's a great saving on that part, and it's a very competitive price. And then we have got something which is called let only plus rent collection, which is going to be like, similar to what the tenant find is, plus we collect the rent on your behalf. It's going to be 7%, no VAT again here. And the third one and the last one, which we have is a full service, where we take care of your property for the let only, as well as the rent collection, plus we manage your property on your behalf throughout the throughout the duration of the tenancy. So these are the 3 key services, and the price for full management is 8%, no VAT. So these are the key services we have as an estate agent, and we do sales as well if it's required in future.
Okay, so a couple of questions. One is, when you do rent collection, do you do guaranteed rent, or is it just rent collection? And what if the tenants don't pay?
So there is something which is called a rent guarantee or rent protection, which you can always buy on an addition cover, and we can help you with that process as well. So when we say rent collection, it means collecting the rent on the behalf of you from the tenant and transfer it to you every month after deducting our commission. And when it comes to the rent protection, that's a completely separate product, and it's a cover which we can help you to buy, and that protects your rent in case of any dispute from the tenants or irregularity because of their personal changes in, let's say, job situation or something like that happens in future.
So are you saying it's like an insurance policy?
It is kind of an insurance policy, yes.
Okay, sounds good. And at the same time, when you say full management, so let's say if something goes wrong at the property, do you call to ask me, or do you just get the work done and send me the bill?
No, we will always take your approval. So we'll give you a call as soon as we have been notified by the tenant. We take the supporting pictures to make sure that there is a visibility of the issue. And then we take your approval, tell you the options which we can potentially help you with. And once we have that approved, we get on the work done for you on your behalf.
Okay, sounds good. And sorry, I think, I don't know if I asked you, but how long have you been doing this?
Sorry, yes. So we are fairly started up in August. So we are a kind of a startup state agency, and we are remotely very much operated. Hence why our services are very competitive. But the main thing which we very much emphasize is in the personal service and the landlord experience, to make sure that you're 100% satisfied with everything what you ask for.
Sounds good. Okay, great. So we are done. I want someone else to tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how good Geeta was. Kalpana, can you tell me how good Geeta was on a scale of 1 to 10?
I would say she was about 4.5 to 5. Sorry, Geeta. Sorry for being hard.
Okay.
That's okay, Kalpana. As for my landlords are happy, it doesn't matter the feedback.
Okay. Let me give you, Geeta, I was going to give you more like an 8. You did pretty well
wow.
from my perspective. Yeah.
I would have given that.
I
as
don't know
well.
if you were you going to give 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she did well.
Mm.
She got the chronological order right of growth. She has pretty much every answer correct. And the best answer she gave was, even though she's new, she's prepared to give that personal touch to the service. This is very, very important when you're new in the industry. Okay. So she actually gave pretty much all the answers correct and followed the right order as well. Okay. And on top of that, she's got the pricing right, which is very important. Okay. So I thought that was an 8. Emmanuel, what do you think? Not sure if you can hear.
Jack, can I pitch in? Can I come in,
Yeah,
please?
go ahead. Please, yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
because I feel like I've been really hard on
Kalpana is a
Geeta,
hard
but
landlord.
No. I have really high expectations of Geeta, because I've met with her, I've seen her in action. Okay, she showed me a property, so I've got really high expectation, and I know Geeta could do better. She's done really well with all the numbers and percentages and all the options you had. Right, she was giving you, what you needed to hear. But I think she could have pushed for how much, when she talked about the landlord's information, what did she say? Insurance, right? Landlord's insurance to guaranteed rent. All those things she could have, just beef it up a bit with all the numbers and information. Maybe she didn't have it at hand, but she could have just said, well, this is how we can help you get it. If you get it with us, we can offer you this much, or these are the products, these are the additional products. Yeah, just little bit of more. That's all. Otherwise, she covered everything nicely.
Geeta, remember, Kalpana gave me 6.5 last week.
Sorry.
No, but just to add on to what Kalpana said, because this is what we experience every day, and this is something we are open to feedback, because we are new in the, I wouldn't say new in the industry, but we are new in the market as a competitors among big estate agents. But what we experience is the landlords, they tend to get confused so easily. So if you bombard them with so much of information,
yeah,
you are telling, what they will say, oh, I will come back to you. And that's what we don't want. We want to get the immediate business. So we go with everything prepared in hand, and we get everything then and there signed and market their property same day. That's the only way I can make money. Otherwise, if I give them opportunity and wasted my time to travel all the way and then spend time and get nothing, because I have bombarded them with so much information. Sometimes it doesn't work in my favor.
Okay, Geeta, here is something big for you, okay? Next time you get, I will think about it. Okay, here is what you need to ask. Could you tell me what needs to change in our proposal for you to say yes and go ahead with us?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
remember this is very important, okay?
Yeah,
what
it happened
needs
with
to
one
change?
landlord.
Yeah,
It happened with one landlord last week.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, Geeta, you know, I have got another 2 state agents who have been in touch with us and they're offering us this. And then I said, okay, because we don't want to lose any business. Then I just went to her and say, like, you tell me what exactly are you looking into, you know, pay for our services and what did they offer to you? And we can definitely, you know, go with something in the middle and try our best to meet up your expectation. And then she negotiated.
She negotiated. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's
she
good.
negotiated and we agreed.
I wouldn't normally mention competition. What I would ask is, just listen to my question. I would say, what needs to change in our proposal for you to go with us today? Okay. And when you ask that question, they will tell you everything. Instead of you mentioning the competition, instead of you mentioning the price, instead of you mentioning anything, they will tell you what the objection is.
Yeah.
Okay. And then always get a yes there and then. If you don't get a yes there and then, 9 out of 10 times, you're only going to end up with a no.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So try and get a yes. Yes, there is you can always follow up and get a yes.
Yeah.
But the chances of those are very, very little in most cases. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's how you deal with it. But I do feel that you did right. Yes, Kalpana is right. The expectations, when they're higher, you tend to, it's the expectations of the person who's listening to you as well.
Yeah. I mean, every landlord is so different, and Kalpana can be a very different landlord. But
that's right. Yes,
I
they're
think
all different. They're all different.
I take the feedback, but the only thing we want to start with very brief and relevant information.
That's right,
and once the open questions come, we answer all of this because, of course, you know, we go prepared. But we don't try to say all this in the beginning just to not them be confused, especially if they're European landlords.
Yeah, that's
some
true.
of them,
that's true.
They get really confused quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you. In fact, okay, so that's a good practice. Okay, remember, guys, every one of us is just learning here. There's don't take it personally, don't take it harsh. It's all about just learning from the process and saying, how can I make my pitch slightly better the next time, and the next time, and the next time. And if you keep improving on top of that, you will get to a point where you'll be a lot more smoother in your pitch. Okay. And either it is like Geeta did, state agency sale, or you're leading a team, or you're pitching for investment. It's exactly the same thing. You got to just practice more and more of this. It's all about practicing and absolutely nothing else. Okay. Anyone else wants to try and pitch to me? I'm not being hard on anyone. I'm just being nice. So raise your hand if you'd like to pitch to me. All right. Okay. I can assure you one thing, guys. I know you are, Kalpana. Kalpana, would you like to pitch?
I am out at the moment.
Oh,
I just got out of the gym and I'm sitting in the car, but the connection keeps going up and down.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so remember, guys, this is all about practicing, and you can actually practice this with your life partner, with your business partner, or someone you trust. You can do it with your kids, you can do it with your siblings, you can do it with anyone at home if you feel more comfortable doing this at home. Like I said, I've done this many, many times over, and it's all about practicing and absolutely nothing else. Okay, so please go ahead and practice this. This is very, very, very important. Like I said, if I was to list the top 3 skills when it comes to attracting money towards yourself, it's pulling the money towards you rather than going to it. The top 3 skills, top one is being able to persuade someone to give you their money so you could take that money, invest, make profits, and give them their money back with profits. Okay, it is a major, major skill to learn. Okay, the formula of being able to find a deal, then find an investment, or vice versa, being able to then make, I'm doing this circle, right? So find the deal, find the investor, or vice versa, being able to make it profitable, and then being able to return the investment with profits, and then back on to finding the deal, rinse and repeat. This process pretty much applies to every single business in the world, okay? Irrespective of which business you're in. And unless you don't learn this process, unfortunately, I can tell you, you're just not going to go too far, okay? Unless, like I said, you get an inheritance of 20 million from an uncle, which I actually came across someone who they didn't even know the uncle, they still got a lot of inheritance. So it can happen to you as well. But unless you don't get that, you're just not going to go too far. In fact, most people who even get inheritance end up losing that money because they don't know how to pitch and raise more money and leverage that money further. So it's a very, very important skill to learn and to practice. All right, guys, this is today's session. I'm actually going to stop the recording.